Hi, Jules here for Talk to Me Tuesday on Tuesday, April 16th. Crafty wise, I did get a piano key border on the top and bottom of my 2018 Swap Blocks quilt. I got a back piece here for Susan's quilt. I got it loaded on the frame and ready to go. Started stitching and my speed control died, so the quilting frame is currently in a timeout while I figure things out. So and do some experimentation. So I pulled everything off, put it away because I didn't want anything to happen to it. I'll put some practice stuff on there if I can get the speed control up and running again. Otherwise, I'll have to come up with a new plan for quilting. Meanwhile, we had a huge donation to Project Linus of fabric from a woman's estate. It wasn't actually a... They didn't die. What they did was they could no longer quilt anymore, and actually they had to go into assisted living. So she gave a bunch of her stuff away, about half of it away to family and friends. The other half she gave to her family to do whatever they wanted to do with. The family in turn took half of that, so basically a fourth of her sewing estate, and gave that to Project Linus. So I think the other they just gave to another charity. So what you see behind me is part of what I got from that. So basically the woman who stores our yardage, she had it, I mean, it basically almost filled her one-car garage. She invited us over after Linus this past weekend and to go shopping for fabric, and the lady also donated books. So, oh my God, it was, like I said, it filled her, I mean, she had it up on tables and on shelves, but it basically filled her one-car garage. So she was trying to get as much out of there as she could so that she could just move it into her store closet where she keeps the yardage. And hopefully we made enough of a dent in it to do that. I picked out some stuff that I might not have bought myself, but this behind me is actually Dexter the dinosaur for making a plushie, or a, you know, like a little stuffed pillow. Actually two of them. It's two yards. And my thought was applique quilt. I might get a couple out of this. Not exactly sure. But obviously I'll have to stitch the legs and the arms on separately. And there's enough other little things here that I might just, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So it's up on the design wall percolating while I figure that out. There was actually one bit left over from another one. Must have been another colorway, a blue dinosaur. And so I took that home too, because, you know, you never know. Because right there you can see almost a block. So I could applique those dinosaurs onto something. We'll see what happens there. I grabbed a couple of panels, a few panels. Here's one. It's already been cut up. I love the look of red work, but obviously I'm not going to spend the time to do enough embroidery to do a quilt. So this makes me not have to do that. So I can cut these up and piece them back together. I think there's enough of a border of the red print to make sashing so that I won't need to add sashing. And I've got several repeats. You can see where that one got chopped out. Whoops. I've got several repeats of that. So there's Sunbonnet Sam, and Sue, butterflies, and flowers. So, and the squirrel. The squirrel is what sold it, I'll be honest. I just love the look of that squirrel. So that's going to become a patchwork quilt. Maybe I'll work on something like that while I'm figuring out the quilting thing. She had more of the, you remember the Indian corn fabric that I used for the back of my veggie quilt? Tomatoes, hot tomato quilt. There was more of that, probably about a yard. And then, you know, these are kids' quilts, right? So I thought this is great. Could be used as a back, and it'd be a great binding as well. Same thing with this. Stripes make great binding, but this would also be big enough almost to do a back. Depends on the quilt, or at least a piece back. This one is cool. It looks like sweater knit, right? But it's just, and it's called Knit Stitch. That's what it's called, by Bernartex. Really fun. I thought that would make another great back, and it's, I'm not quite sure, more than a yard, I think, of that. There's a space panel, but it's a really skinny panel, so I have to figure out what to do with it. Maybe it's only a partial one? I'm not really sure. Another Bernartex. She liked Bernartex. But I love the globe there. But it's just this long, skinny panel. And then there was this coordinating yardage with it. That is sort of a gradations of space. So maybe I'll just border it in that. I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. I will probably look that panel up and see what other thing people have done with it, just to get an idea. But it's cool because it's got nebula and planets and on it. And there's another panel, United States map. Thought that would be fun. Just needs a border. Really just needs a fun border and backing, and that's ready to go. And then I love flannel on the back, and there was a ton, and I kid you not, a ton of flannel. I grabbed some tonal flannel for backs. That's enough for at least one, maybe two small backs. Another one, at least, that's probably get one back out of that. This is great because it kind of looks like crumpled up paper. So, and she's already washed everything. This woman serged all of her fabric and then washed it. The exception was the panels. And then, I don't know how, I'm going to have to measure this. I don't know how many yards of this flannel I have. There's a flaw in it, so I'll have to work around that. But it's going to be a great back. It's super soft. And, oh my God, look at all that. It's huge. I mean, it's got to be probably 3 yards. I'm not really sure. I haven't measured it yet. And that's all. I did turn in Susan's medallion that she sent me that I added a border to. I did turn that in to Project Linus this past weekend. We had a great month. 143, just our group. 143 blankets turned in this past weekend, which is just awesome because, I mean, I think we got a little over 800 last year, but at this rate, who knows what we're going to hit this year. We've grown so much, so it's hard to say. Yeah, that's it. I guess that's it. I will insert a picture of the finished blanket, front and back. I used the last of those fat quarterbacks that I pieced last year just to have on hand for Linus quilts. I used the last of those that I had ready to go on Susan's quilt that I finished. So I will insert a picture of that quilt here. And that's it. I look forward to watching your videos. I hope everybody has a crafty week. Many of you probably know Jennifer injured her ankle yesterday. So I don't know if we're going to see her today or not, but even if we don't, I'm sure she'll be watching. I love you, Jen. I hope it heals quickly. I know you're just a go, go, go kind of person, and this kind of stuff drives you completely insane. So I'm really sorry. But, you know, get some rest. And we look forward to seeing you when we see you. That's it. Take care. Bye.